The year is 1947. India and Pakistan are divided. But this division was not about land. It was about people, about identity, about culture itself. And one of the most profound cultural shifts happened in music. In India, music grew into the world of Bollywood, big, dramatic, and full of romance. Playback singers became famous. Classical and folk music mixed with films to create something new. By the 1990s, Bollywood wasn't just movies, it was a global name. But on the other side of the border, Pakistan's music evolution took a different turn. Pakistan's music remained deeply rooted in tradition. Qawwali, folk, and Sufi music held a strong grip on the industry. Unlike Bollywood, Pakistan did not have a film industry of the same scale, which meant its artists had to carve out their own spaces through classical concerts, regional folk tunes, and eventually independent pop. Then came the 1990s and the 2000s. Hip hop was exploding across the world. What started in the streets of Bronx had become a global movement, one that was about to be more than just music. Hip hop was raw storytelling, rebellion, poetry, identity, everything that a new generation of South Asians born in the diaspora or growing up under the weight of social restrictions could relate to. Then came a man who would change that forever. Hi, I'm Pooja and you're watching Disney Channel. Not yet. I was introduced to Bohemia when I was a kid and I used to hang out with my cousin and he would make me watch WWE and listen to Sahara, Ek Tera Pyar, and honestly not a bad upbringing. I've been a fan ever since, and shout out to Paras, he helped a lot with the video, helped with fact checking everything, and he's also an emerging artist. Check out his stuff, I think he's really great, and his Instagram will be linked down below, check him out. I've been living in Delhi for the past 3 years now, and I've personally seen how rap fans love Bohemia, but here's the thing, so many people I have recently talked to either don't even know who Bohemia is, or they don't see him as the pioneer of Desi hip hop, but that didn't sit right with me, so here we are. To understand the Bohemia we know today, we have to go back to a time before the fame, before the music, before Punjabi rap even existed. Before he became Bohemia, the pioneer of Punjabi rap, he was Roger David. Born on October 15, 1979 in Karachi, Pakistan, Roger was part of Punjabi Christian family. His early years were spent in the city's diverse cultural mix. By the time he was 13, his family made a life-changing move, immigrating to the US. Settling in California, Roger was thrown into a world that felt completely foreign. He was a teenager in a country where he didn't fully belong, struggling with a new language, a new culture, and an unfamiliar way of life. Unfortunately, a tragedy struck. His mother passed away from cancer, a loss that shattered his already fragile sense of stability. His family life began to break down, and tensions with his father grew. Feeling lost, alone, and disconnected, Roger made a decision that would shape the rest of his life. He ran away from home. Now a teenager surviving on his own, he bounced between cities in California, sleeping wherever he could, often living in motels, basement, or even on the street. He found himself surrounded by gang culture, crime, and the harsh realities of urban life. But in this chaos, he found something that gave him an escape. Music. Roger had always been drawn to poetry, writing in Punjabi and English, but his discovery of hip hop changed everything. Artists like Tupac, Nas, and B.I.G. inspired him, not just in style, but in the way they told their stories. At first, he was just a poet scribbling verses, but his cousin owned a small recording studio in Oakland where he started experimenting with beats and lyrics. Then came a moment that changed everything. A producer named Shawan, seeing his talent, made a suggestion. Why don't you rap in Punjabi? That was a radical idea. At that time, Punjabi music was all about Bhangra and folk sounds. Rap was an imported genre, no one had combined it with Punjabi storytelling before. But Roger, now calling himself Bohemia, didn't care about the rules. He picked up the mic and Punjabi rap was born. In the early 2000s, Bohemia wasn't just making music, he was creating a movement. While Bollywood and Punjabi Bhangra were dominating South Asian music, Bohemia was in a different world, writing his reality in Punjabi but spitting it over hip hop beats. And in 2002, that reality became an album. Bohemia's first album, Which Pardesa De, was a deeply personal project. It wasn't just about rap, it was about the immigrant struggle. For millions of Punjabis living abroad, this album felt like their story. Tales of homesickness, identity struggles, and the cold reality of surviving in a foreign land. Though underground, which Pardesa Day started circulating among Desi youth, from California to Punjab, from internet cafes to burn CDs passed between friends. Bohemia was onto something, but in 2006 he dropped an album that would change everything. Paisa Nasha Pyar was a full-fledged Punjabi rap album to be released by a major label. This was different. This was grimy, real and unapologetically raw. Bohemia rapped about money, struggle, addiction, crime, heartbreak and the streets. It was Punjabi poetry but with aggression of West Coast rap. The track Kali Dinali became a street album, its heavy bass and boastful lyrics cementing Bohemia as the face of Punjabi rap. The impact was immediate. This album didn't just sell, it inspired an entire generation. Desi hip hop was born. He wasn't just rapping anymore, he was leading a revolution. With Paisa Nasha Pyar making waves, Bollywood came calling. In 2008, Bohemia became the first Punjabi rapper to break into Bollywood when he recorded the title track for Chandni Chowk to China starring Akshay Kumar. His deep husky voice became an instant Bollywood signature. This wasn't just a cameo, this was the mainstream acknowledging Desi hip hop. But Bohemia wasn't about the glamour. He wasn't a commercial rapper, he was an artist. And so he did something unexpected. In 2012, Bohemia became the first ever rapper to perform on Coke Studio Pakistan, a stage traditionally reserved for classical, folk and Sufi musicians. This wasn't a statement. Hip-hop wasn't just an underground movement anymore. It had arrived. By now, Bohemia was a household name. And in 2012, he released the album that cemented his place as a legend. Punjabis have a massive presence in North America and the UK, especially in cities like Toronto, Vancouver, London and California. When Bohemia dropped Paisa Nasha Pyar in 2006, it became an anthem for the South Asian diaspora. Bohemia didn't just revolutionize Desi hip hop in India and Pakistan, he took Punjabi rap global. Being raised in California, he wasn't just influenced by hip hop, he lived it, and his music resonated far beyond South Asia. His music spoke to aspiring Desi rappers, proving that hip hop wasn't just an American thing, it was theirs too. For most of his career, Bohemia worked alone. A solo artist, a pioneer, a rapper who built his own lane when no one else was doing it. But by mid-2010s, the landscape had changed. A new wave of artists was rising, and Bohemia, who once had no blueprint to follow, became the blueprint. In 2015, he co-founded Kali Dinali Music with Jay Hind. More than just a label, KDM was a collective, a movement that gave emerging Desi hip hop artists a stage. Young rappers from India and Pakistan who once had grown up listening to Bohemia now could release their own music with his backing. Then, in 2016, the KDM mixtape Volume 1 dropped. Tracks like Game Time and 4 Desis stood out. The mixtape blended underground grit with the Punjabi hip hop sound that Bohemia had pioneered. For the first time, it felt like there was a real Desi hip-hop ecosystem that was outside of the Bollywood, outside of the Punjabi mainstream music. And Bohemia, he wasn't just an artist anymore. He was a mentor, a leader. This period showed something important. Bohemia could have taken the commercial route.
Respect इस चीज की वो गाना आया था सुबह होने वाला उसमें उनका रैप था वो चाहते तो वो सब कर सकते थे कमर्शियल लेकिन उन्होंने किया नहीं वो वही कर रहे हैं जो वो कर रहे हैं और मुझे पता है कि वो करना कितना मुश्किल है.
He had done tracks like Patola and Jaguar. He could have leaned fully into that side of the industry. But instead, he doubled down on hip-hop. KDM wasn't just about music, it was about legacy. Building something that would last beyond just one artist. By 2017, however, Bohemia parted ways with KDM. The details aren't fully known, but what's clear is that KDM's time was short-lived. Still, the impact remained. Many artists from that mixtape went on to have careers of their own. The seeds had been planted. Bohemia had passed the torch, but as they say, every king has his reign. And soon, this Raja's era would start to fade. At his peak, Bohemia was untouchable. He had built Punjabi rap from ground up, influenced an entire generation of rappers, and became a global icon in Desi hip-hop. But then the industry changed. New wave of commercial Punjabi rap was about to take over. And it all started with a beat.
I'm really disappointed, bro. I've been hearing some crappy ass shit coming out. That ain't rap, bro. That's bullshit. Aise rap mat banao, best keep it out of it.
By 2010, Bohemia had already established himself as a king of Punjabi rap. But lurking in the shadow was a new artist. Honey Singh was a completely different breed of rapper. Bohemia was gritty, poetic, underground. Honey Singh was flashy, club-driven, Commercial. In 2011, as Bohemia focused on his lane, Honey Singh exploded into the mainstream. Songs like Brown Rang, Dope Show and Desi Kalakar were everywhere. Hip-hop in India was shifting. It was moving from real storytelling to party anthems, brand deals and Bollywood hits. Bohemia wasn't impressed. Bohemia at the time never directly took shots at Honey Singh, but he repeatedly called out the commercialization of Punjabi rap. He spoke against artists who prioritized money over message. Meanwhile, Honey Singh subtly fired back, embracing his commercial success and calling himself the face of Desi rap. This unspoken rivalry created a divide. Old school fans sided with Bohemia, the real storyteller. New age fans embraced Honey Singh's catchy beats and Bollywood dominance. The industry had a new king, but not everyone was happy about it. Just as Bohemia was preparing for a major comeback, he was hit with a legal battle that changed everything. In 2019, Bohemia signed an exclusive deal with Saga Music, a major Punjabi music label. The contract required him to release music exclusively under Saga Music, not collaborate with any third parties without permission, perform only for Saga backed events. Saga Music claimed that Bohemia released songs independently on YouTube without their approval, skipped contractually obligated performances, did not complete agreed upon project despite receiving advance payment. As a result, the label sued him. The court banned Bohemia from recording music independently, effectively stalling his career. This legal battle cost him momentum. While Bohemia was fighting in court, a new generation of Desi rappers were rising. While Bohemia was caught up in legal battles and label politics, a storm was brewing in the underground. By 2016-17, a new wave of hip-hop had already started bubbling under the surface. In Mumbai, Divine and Nizy were capturing the raw, unfiltered energy of the streets. Their music wasn't polished, wasn't industry-backed, it was raw storytelling, gritty beats, bilingual flows, real-life struggles laid bare in the lyrics. This movement was different. Bohemia had made Punjabi rap mainstream. Honey Singh had turned rap into club anthem formula. But these new artists, they were speaking directly to the streets. Desi hip-hop was no longer just about party hits or Punjabi swagger. It was about survival. Then in 2019, everything changed. Gully Boy hit the theaters. It was loosely based on Divine and Nizy's journey, but it did something bigger. It introduced millions of people to the underground rap scene. Suddenly, gully rap wasn't just a subgenre. It was the face of Indian hip-hop. For years, hip-hop had been seen as a niche, an add-on to Bollywood. Now it was a movement of its own. This was the second major shift in how the masses saw hip-hop. The first came with Honey Singh, who made rap commercial. The second came with Divine and the underground scene, proving that hip-hop could stand on its own. No film industry backing, no major label, just raw talent. By now, hip-hop wasn't just a borrowed genre in India. It was homegrown. And while Bohemia wasn't a direct part of this wave, his blueprint was still visible. Independent hustle, real storytelling, and a movement built from scratch. The seeds he planted years ago had grown into something massive. The foundation had been laid and the game had changed.
A little bit of a side note, I don't really like the gully rap or Hindi rap scenes. I'm not really a big fan. I've personally been to a few events as well. I went to Paradox event. I just cannot get into that stuff. It isn't for me. It isn't my music taste in any way whatsoever. Bohemia didn't refuse to adapt. He just never played by the industry's rules. Look at his work in the 2010s. He did the big Bollywood collaboration tracks such as Subha Hone Na De and CCTC, songs that had mass appeal. He worked with commercial producers, big labels and rising stars. He had the reach, the influence. He even worked with artists who were reshaping the sound of Desi music, whether it was Guru Randhawa, Gippy Grewal or Deep Sandhu. Bohemia's approach was different. For him, this wasn't his core. He could easily step into commercial rap, but he never fully embraced it. When mainstream rap became about catchy hooks and party anthems, Bohemia wasn't interested in making disposable hits. He came from a different world, a world where rap was about storytelling, not just marketing. That's why even when he worked with major artists, his own projects stayed raw, independent and deeply personal. He adapted in his own way, collaborating, experimenting, stepping into the industry when he wanted to, but never letting it define him. He played the game, but on his own terms.
Him listening to Bohemia, me listening to Bohemia, and Ikka listening to Bohemia, that connected us. मेरा इन लोगों के साथ कनेक्ट होने का रीजन बोहेमिया पाजी थे.
Let's keep it very simple. Language and lyrically बोहेमिया पाजी ने बहुत स्प्रेड किया, musically हनी पाजी ने बहुत स्प्रेड किया.
Yeah, मेरे फेवरेट बोहेमिया पाजी forever. I love बोहेमिया पाजी.
देसी हिप हॉप जो भी है वो बोहेमिया पाजी की वजह से है. यस, इस चीज को कोई डिनाई नहीं कर सकता. अगर ये कोई कहे कि देसी हिप हॉप में ये नहीं है वो नहीं, एक पायनियर होता है ना, वो बाजी नहीं है।
Punjabi rap, Desi hip hop, none of it exists today the way it does without him. So why do people say he's forgotten? In hip hop, nostalgia is both a blessing and a curse. Fans who grew up on Bohemia's music still see him as a legend. But on the other side, a new generation of fans who entered through Divine, Krishna or Emiway see him differently. And this is where the real conversation happens. Bohemia isn't forgotten, but he is no longer the main character.
Will you get more Bohemias in this distraction environment? I doubt it.
He's now a pillar, a foundation, a name spoken with respect but not necessarily the first name that comes up when you mention Desi hip hop today. Is that a tragedy or is that just how legacy works? In music, there are two paths. You evolve, you adapt to sounds, new trends and new flows. Or you stand your ground, you refuse to change, let the world evolve around you. Bohemia walked a third path. He didn't resist change, he just adapted in his own way. He worked with mainstream artists, stepped into Bollywood, collaborated with commercial names, but he never fully became a part of that system. He never chased TikTok trends or reel trends. He never compromised his style to stay relevant in an industry that moves faster than ever, and for that, some say he faded, but others say he stayed real.
अभी एक हिट गाना निकालो, अभी वो भी गाड़ी की बात कर रहा होगा, या तो उसके पीछे भी पुलिस लगी होगी, या तो उसके भी कपड़े काले होंगे, कुछ ना कुछ काला होगा. It's the same content from Paisa Nasha Pyar. I already gave you the blueprint.
At the end of the day, the real measure of a legend isn't whether they dominate the charts today, it's whether music still matters. Audiences change. The kids who once blasted Vich Pardesa De through cheap speakers, who memorized every line of Kali Denali and felt invincible, are grown now. They have jobs, families and responsibilities. They have outgrown their teenage rebellions. But nostalgia never dies. Bohemia's music isn't just a sound, it's a time capsule. A reminder of an era where Desi hip hop was still raw, still untamed, and every time he drops a track, it's like opening a door to that past. The voice, the flow, the attitude, it all comes rushing back. And yet, it's not just the old fans who listen. A new generation, one raised in an era where rap is mainstream, stumbles upon his music. They go back, dig into the roots, and realize that before the gully boys and the chart toppers, before rap battles and the viral diss tracks, there was Bohemia. But here's the thing, Bohemia isn't just nostalgia. He isn't just a relic of the past, he still creates. He still drops music. More albums, more songs. Some shake the culture, some go unnoticed. But every single one carries the essence of what he built. Because he never changed to fit the industry. The industry changed because of him. Hip-hop moves in cycles. Sounds evolve. Today it's drill beats and trap flows. Tomorrow it might be something else. But pioneers never truly fade. Their voices become etched into the foundation of the genre. They become more than just artists. They become myths. And sometimes when the world thinks they are done, they return. And when they do, the culture listens. So, will Bohemia reinvent himself? Maybe. Maybe not. But does he need to? Legends don't chase trends. They wait. And when the time is right, when the industry shifts again, time will come back to him. Let's go back. Back to the late 90s. A kid wandering the street of Oakland, California, lost between two worlds. A kid who had no blueprint, no industry to rely on. A kid who had to invent an entire genre just to tell his story. That's Bohemia. And if we talk about legacy, what bigger legacy than to create something out of nothing? Because Punjabi rap didn't exist before Bohemia. Because Desi hip hop wasn't a thing before Bohemia. Because without him, there is no Raftaar, no Badshah, no Krishna, no Divine, no Sidhu Moosewala. Because whether you call him the greatest, whether you say he fell off, whether you listen to him every day or haven't heard his music in years, Bohemia's voice still echoes in every Desi rapper who picks up a mic today. Because you can't forget the Raja who built the empire. There's an unspoken truth in the music industry. The industry does not care about legacy. It does not care about who built the foundation. It does not care about what an artist gave to the culture. The industry only asks one thing. What's next? The industry loves new blood. It thrives on evolution, reinvention, reinvention, reinvention. But what happens to the artists who came before? And at what point does an artist stop being the future and start being a relic of the past? The answer is cruel. It happens the second the audience decides. The audience is the biggest contradiction in the industry. We the listeners worship our favorite artists, we idolize them, we say their music changed our lives. We quote their lyrics like scriptures. But times move forward and so do we. New music comes out, new names dominate, and suddenly the artist who once defined us no longer fits into our present. It's not intentional. It's not because they aren't great anymore. It's just because the world has too much to keep up with. And so the artists who once sold stadiums, whose posters covered bedroom walls, whose music felt like oxygen, finds themselves speaking to an audience that is no longer listening. In music, youth is currency. Industry favors the young, the fresh, the new trends, the new wave. This isn't just about hip-hop. It happened to rock legends, to pop stars, to jazz icons. We watched Michael Jackson struggle to remain relevant in the new era of pop. We saw Eminem's fan base split, half still loyal, half saying he fell off. We saw Jay-Z reinvent himself, aging not by chasing trends but by shifting into wisdom and will. Artists who survive aging are those who rewrite their purpose. But the ones who don't, they don't necessarily fade away. They exist in a different space. They become icons of nostalgia. Names spoken with reverence, even if the audience no longer rushes to hear their latest work. They become a feeling rather than a presence. Not forgotten, not irrelevant, existing in the past rather than the now. Every fan will at some point face a moral dilemma. Do we owe our favorite artists continued attention? Do we owe them our streams, our engagement, our loyalty? Or was the exchange complete the moment their music touched our souls? Did they give us what we needed in that moment of time and that was enough? And yet, the story never really ends. Even now, Yo-Yo Honey Singh, once dismissed as past his prime, is back on tour for his latest album Glory, performing for thousands, proving that nostalgia isn't just a memory, it's a force. And we'll talk about that soon. Maybe that's the truth. Maybe the real measure of an artist's greatness isn't whether we still listen every day, but whether their music remains a timestamp in our life. A song we hear randomly and it takes us back. A lyric we still whisper when we're alone. A voice that reminds us of who we once were. If an artist achieves that, they are never forgotten. Because even if we aren't listening today, we still remember. And memory is a kind of immortality. Hi, you have stayed till this long in the video. I actually commend your attention span. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the topic. And please let me know what more sort of videos you'd like me to make. I'm coming up with a Honey Singh video. Yeah, that was spoiled earlier on. And subscribe if you like my channel. Like right now there's only one video, so there's not much to like. But for future, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.
Listen to rap. Yeah, okay. You gotta be cool, man.